Firstly, congratulations to UOL for selling close to 50% of the Meyer Blue units on first weekend launch day. Come, clap. Well done. Okay, did I expect them to sell so many units? No, I thought it was probably going to be like 30% or so. Was my price prediction previously close enough? Yes, and as expected, most of the sea-facing units were taken up with the 2-bedroom, 667 square feet and the 990 square feet, selling out all the higher floor units. And the 1528 square feet also sold better than the 4+ study landed facing. That one quite obvious. The only thing I got it wrong is that the landed pricing isn't as cheap as what we want it to be, and it was actually not far apart from the sea-facing units ones. Also, I didn't expect the penthouses to be taken up, as I thought that the prices will easily go above 4,000 per square foot. Why? Because East Coast penthouses facing the sea tend to trade at a price uniquely on its own. So for them to sell close to 3,400 per square foot for a 2,900 square feet, $10 million is actually considered a very fair price for someone looking for a single floor plate unit that boasts an unblocked sea view. Because trust me, this unit type really has a niche target audience. Now, there's still quite some bit of sea-facing units too, so if you are someone still having half a mind on Meyer Blue, looking for any other type of resale properties around the neighborhood, if you think the sizes are too small at Meyer Blue, you know who to look out for, right? Anyway, back to today's topic. So remember months ago when I talked about Emerald of Katong potentially becoming my new launch of second half 2024? If you have missed it, I put up the link in description. Now, basically in the video that I mentioned using our QPE framework, all we were waiting for to determine whether it's a clear buy or not is number one, pricing, which we will not get to know until launch day itself. But as we get closer to the preview, the guide price given to developers might give me a sense as to whether they are going to be starting at a reasonable price or they are going to bet big and go all gung-ho by being extremely bullish. Number two, land size, facilities and facade. Basically how the development looks and the design ethos, we have finally gotten information on that. And finally, number three, layout, which I have all of them also. And in today's video, we will just be talking about the development designs and all the different layouts, and as expected, what I predicted in my previous video was close to what we are getting or will be getting. In summary, the developer Simlian did not deviate too much from their winning formula with creating efficient floor plans, and surprisingly, the development outlook finally don't look so boring. Botany and treasures in recent times, if you know it, you know it. I'm still very excited over this development as I have about close to 5 clients eagerly waiting for it, and out of 3, which are viewers out there who have reached out to me in recent times, thank you so much for your support. And if you are looking for someone who is ready to walk through this journey with you, even if it means asking you to walk away from it should the price be too high, call me, because I deviate from bullshit. So let's take a look at how it looks. Units are positioned in such a way that it's mainly north-south facing, given the plot is rectangular in shape. I think this is probably the best way to design everything. A very nice setback between buildings with a good 40-odd meter clearance, with all the facilities being concentrated in the middle. 6 blocks in total, 3 on top, 3 bottom. What you really want and need in development, you have it here. Now you got kids pool, lap pool, tennis court, gym, all the different zones, wellness, lifestyle, so on and so forth. And I like that one corner is really designated for the kids with the different pavilions tucked just beside it, probably making it ideal to host events that are very welcoming. This somewhat resembles Park Esta. For those of you guys have been there, don't you think so? And really, for once, Simlian built something very modern looking. Again, I point you to look at the past projects in Tampines Treasure and Botany, and then you will get what I mean. Okay, so Simlian, don't come and find fault with me. On the corner here, you also have a side gate to the neighborhood park built by the developers as part of the condition to the sale of this plot of land. And downwards towards the north, do take note there will be an old folks home / nursing home coming up in the next few years that is about 9 stories high. All in all, this is much better than what I've expected from Simlian, and I can confidently say it's better designed than Tembusu Grand or even Grand Taman. So for first point of land size, facilities and facade for QPE QPE, very good. Next, floor plans. Looking at the side plan, it is very easy to understand or second guess how the price would likely function. Facing outside on the southern side and northern side, cheaper internal pool facing will be the heaviest premium. Done. Full stop. Simple as that. Okay? Back to floor plans. First one plus study, nobody really cares, skip. Next one, 2 bed, 2 bath, dumbbell layout, 624 square feet, almost same size like a Lentor mansion. Very efficient. Now you have a U-shaped kitchen there that probably gives you the option to glass it up if you need to be separated from the dining. In total, you have 4 stacks, 3 stacks facing what is likely the premium pool facing and 1 stack facing the southern side, which might be blocked in the future by another development. So if there's any guide price floating about in time to come for the 2-bedroom, I reckon it's going to be for this stack 27 unit with the premium ones probably costing like $100,000 more or so. Next, 646 square feet. Another 2 bed, 2 bath dumbbell layout, but with a more proper kitchen tuck and a corner. Is it still an enclosed kitchen? Nope, but almost functioning like one. Okay, so all outwards facing, so I expect this to be cheaper generally too. Yeah, the choice between the two is going to be the 646 square feet, as there's slightly more walking space when you enter in the house and coming into the kitchen, but that's just me nitpicking. Both layouts are good. Next up, 2 plus study, 678, 689 and 700 square feet, all very good dumbbell layouts. And all of them also have an enclosed kitchen, except the 678 square feet where it's more like the previous 646 square feet 2 bed 2 bath. Study located just beside the kitchen instead of being beside the common bedroom like the other layouts. Most of them faces the pool with only 1 stack of 689 square feet and 700 square feet looking outwards. So I expect the stack 12 to sell out fastest as the size is slightly smaller too, and the sizes for the 2 plus studies here are marginally bigger than the normal 2 bedrooms, meaning that the price gap can be pretty narrow. And if we play around with some pricing of let's say 2,500 per square foot, the 43 square feet difference can also mean that it could be just a simple $100,000 top up for a 2 plus study. Okay, now this is the gap you should pay attention to if the 2 bedrooms or the 2 plus study is within your range of consideration. Next, 3 bedroom compact, 883 square feet, very clean, can't fault it much except the slightly crooked entrance. I mean, what you need in a house, you got it. Whichever parts in the house requires a window, you also have it. Now, bedroom all can fit in queen, queen, king. Good. Facing out too, so similarly, if they float any guide price for the 3 bedroom, it will likely be for this unit type. Okay. 904 square feet next. Can't really see much difference from the previous layout. Maybe the entrance slightly a little bit bigger. 4 stacks of this, almost all facing outwards except 1. Stack 10 likely the most expensive one for the 3 compact unit type, and with the previous 3 compact being the cheapest. Now 3 plus study next. 969 square feet. This one actually looks more like a pre-harmonization 1055 square feet type of unit, those 3 premium, right? Over here, you got a nice study. An interesting thing to take note, most of the unit type from here onwards will have a store. Okay, now most condos these days gives you either only a study, utility, bomb shelter or store. Very seldom they give you 2. So this is actually a very good layout. Okay, 2 stacks, 1 pool facing, 1 outwards facing. Next up, 3 plus study, 990 square feet. Can't see much difference from the previous layout. All outwards facing, good. 3 plus flexi, also 990 square feet, same as the previous 2 layouts, but instead of getting a study, you get what the name suggests, a flexi. But do you know what a flexi means? Because it looks the same like a study, right? For those eagle eyes, if you can spot it, the difference is the wall separating the dining and flexi can be knocked. The other layouts that are non-flexi cannot be knocked. Okay, and lastly, for the 3 bedroom type, the largest 1023 square feet, once again, very similar to all the other layouts, but over here, you get a much wider dining, and instead of getting a study just beside that, your store position has been shifted to this corner. And then your previous study is being shifted closer to where the master bedroom is. For those who have a decent family size with a helper, I am not sure if this is the layout super, because I don't know if the store can act as a helper's room or not, because the study for the other layouts can function as just that. But because the study for this is closer to being the master, I think most buyers might have a little bit of issue with this. Up until this point, Simlian's reputation of building efficient layouts have been upheld. Cannot find any major flaws just yet. Now, moving on to the larger 4 bedrooms, the smallest 4 plus study unit, 1152 square feet. This layout is practically putting an additional bedroom, a dry kitchen, and a larger master to the previous 3 bedroom 1023 square feet layout. Elongated living and dining space, one outwards facing, one inwards facing. I personally expect this layout to sell the best as it's a size that is very close to the largest 3 bedroom unit, somewhere only around 129 square feet difference, and yet you still form a decent gap of close to 100 square feet from the larger 1259 square feet layout. Now, in that manner, the price should be much closer to the 3 bedroom pricing than the larger 4 bedrooms. Now, this gives it a very palatable entry level as compared to not only within Emerald of Katong, but also to surrounding competition. For those of you who are looking at the 4 bedrooms for investment, I will watch out very carefully on this unit type. Okay, to the larger 4 bedroom layouts, alright, this one is one of the best layout in Emerald of Katong, in my opinion. The 1259 and the 1270 square feet, one of the Simlian trademark designs. Now, both unit type almost identical except for the corridor entrance, very nicely designed. Landscape layout, instead of study, you get a proper bomb shelter and a store, all of them facing towards the pool with stacked 40, potentially getting a side view of the park. Although we are very close to the nursing home for block 63, it is very unlikely you'll be looking into it as it's really tucked at the corner. Then what's the only negative about this layout? It is a 4 bedroom with 2 toilets and a half. Half being the maid's toilet. Other than that, I think this is like the most efficient layout you can find. Not too big, not too small. And I think the position of this unit type in the development is pretty good too, with all of them facing the pool. I personally think that the stack 3 will be quite popular with those who buys it for their own use, as it's right in the middle with a nice pocket view of the SLA landed houses on the left hand side alongside the pool view. Now, stack 40 on the higher floor will look far beyond towards the Mountbatten landed enclave towards the Meyer Road direction, with possibly some pocket sea view if you're lucky. This one I'm not sure, so don't quote me. I'm just playing devil's advocate for those who think that Emerald has no good views aside from the pool view. Then the bigger jump, the 4 plus study Lux. Similar setup to the previous 4 bedroom, 1302, 1313 square feet. Bigger also means more expensive lah. And given this is in the Lux block where you'll be getting better finishing, I expect this to move slightly slower as the premium for it should be much greater, and given the difference is only that you get an extra study and the master bedroom has a walk-in wardrobe. Also, the difference between the 2 layouts for this 4 plus study is probably in the entrance foyer where the 1313 square feet has slightly more space. That's about it. Now, of course, the 1259 square feet has an additional dining space which the 4 plus study do not have. Alright. However, once more detail here, got no store. Not sure why, but the idea of having both the bomb shelter and store, like the 3 bedroom or the smaller 4 bedrooms, you need the 1259. The 1270 square feet would be good. So it's like a substitute of the store with a study for this unit time. And finally, the 5 bedroom units, the 1485 square feet and the 1561 square feet. Both are the Lux series and both also have characteristics of the 4 bedroom Lux layout. Nice landscape layout with a good sized kitchen with windows where it's supposed to be. What's the main difference between the two? 1485 square feet one doesn't have a private lift, while the larger ones has one. Okay. Now the dining room space for the 1561 square feet is also slightly larger, separated from the living room space, while the smaller ones, dining and living room space, are one. Okay. Yeah, it's also a little bit different, but both are big enough, so nobody really will be too bothered by it. Also, for this layout type, there's no store. The only issue I have with this, probably why this isn't the best layout in my honest opinion, is because the long corridor leading to the rooms, I just don't like this kind of configuration. Those long ones, just like the 5 bedrooms at Pine Tree Hill. Now, it would be quite cool if you can shift the bedroom 5 to the other side of the house, like a semi-dumbbell layout. But hey, who am I? I'm just an agent. I'm sure the architects will know better. So there you have it, a quick analysis of all the unit types except the 1 plus study, which nobody really cares. I think all the layouts are done in a very efficient manner. That's what we come to expect from Simlian. Lucky they never try to be too funny given these harmonization rulings. And of course, the sizes here are not too big Hence, the absolute price tag at the end of the day should likely be kept at a reasonable level. So I can't really fault any one of the layouts except probably the 5 bedrooms with the very long corridor. Each will clearly have its target audience, whether it's for own use or for investments. So this is by far and large one of the best overall layouts configurations I have seen this year. Now that we also know how Emerald of Katong looks like, granted it doesn't look super atas like those in Meyer Road, but it certainly doesn't fall short of standards and what it is to pay for a premium in the neighborhood. With the two important points of quality under the QPE framework addressed, all you have to wait for now is the actual price on launch day itself. As a preview is nearing 25th of October, first day of preview all the way to the launch day of 9th of November, developers will also likely float some guide price to catch attention. Now, if they do so, please expect the units to be the outwards facing one. It shouldn't be the basis for the pool facing premium units. But even with just a guide price on the lousier facing, I should be able to second guess what the premium facing pricing will be. And even at, let's say, 2,500 per square foot, most of the units' absolute price tag due to harmonization will likely still be kept at an extremely affordable level versus the likes of Grand, Diamond and Tembusu Grand. Entry level means the absolute price you pay for. Of course, it's going to be a 21-story development, so I expect the price range to be very, very wide, starting from the lowest floor of an outwards facing all the way up to a high floor premium pool facing, creating a 300 to 400 per square foot gap difference likely. Prices will still determine whether EOK or Emerald of Katong is worth your money or not. So all you can do now is to go and check out the show flat to see if this is suitable or not for you. If you have no one to bring you, I bring you lah. Reach out to me here, okay? As far as I'm concerned, based on what I've seen so far, Emerald will likely still be my launch of second half 2024, unless you think Trump Buck is your launch of the year. But you go and see the show flat.